Yeah. What up, what up, what up, what up? Textiles in the building, man. Air to the streets HD, man. I'm basically coming off of watching Daylight's reaction to the Cassidy versus Goodz battle, right? Now, he made some very interesting points. We share a lot of the same thoughts. You know, he starts off by saying that he is nice, nice. Like when it comes to rapping, he's nice, nice. And I feel that I'm nice, nice too, right? I may not have like a whole bunch of music out there or music at all, really much, pretty much out there, but I'm still nice. It ain't even about that. And so when I'm listening to the battle, I know what I hear. And the way Daylight put it was perfect. Like Cassidy came and said that he was going to outbar Goods. He did that. He did that. He said that Cassidy's first round was the best round of the battle. It was. He said that Cassidy's second verse was better than all of Briz Rothstein's rounds. I can't say for sure that it was, but I do think that I think all three of Cassidy's rounds were pretty good, and that his first was arguably the best verse of the night. Some people might say, yo, I'm bugging because from Manitti's second verse was crazy, but I also think that John's second was crazy. I rated Cassidy's first, probably his first, a 9.5 on paper. You could argue that, but I do think it was pretty in depth um, and adept to the situation. Uh, I think that Romnitty's second was gruesome, just all out, like some of the best writing and like that I've heard. So I have to give him like arguably the best round of the night that I watched perform, like and I can't remember what John said in a second, but I thought that it was a very powerful round, very powerful. A lot of people are like, how Twerk was so good? Twerk was so good. Well, I think that Twerk's rounds were good. I remember saying to my people, they didn't want to hear that battle in particular, so I had it in my headphones. And I was like, yo, Twerk is wilding. Twerk is saying some stuff. I never heard Twerk rhyme like this. However, I do believe that Cassidy, Romnitty, and John had three of the top verses of the night. In regards to Goodz, I just think that he was lackluster. I don't think he was the best Goodz that I've ever seen or any of that. I think he was all okay at best. Too many empty spots for me. Far too many, far too many ineffective punches. And what I mean by punches is not punch lines, but far too ineffective punches, like in a boxing analogy. Like if you're boxing, you're throwing punches. He threw some punches and he didn't hit. Like Cassidy threw a lot of punches and a lot of them hit. A lot of the jabs count. Jabs count. You feel me? Like Goodz would come out and fake. And it's like, I'm like, okay, so like first and foremost, they're not even on the same level, Cass and Goodz. Not on the same level at all when it comes to MCing. So that's the crazy part about it all. So, but back to Daylyt. Daylyt called the battle at the end of the day a draw. A draw. And that's what prompted me to shoot this video. I'm like, wow, a draw? I'm not even mad at that. And because he gave the reasoning that Goodz got the better reaction at the end. So he's playing into what it all takes to win a battle in today's so-called battle rap arena. Okay? Because like Daylyt has said earlier in his video, he said that Cass comes from that bring it right to you era, to paraphrase him, right? Basically run down on you era, where it's like right now, dude across the street walk up to him like, yo, what up, son? You rap? Yeah, all right, what you got, bars? Like you battle? You want to battle? I feel like battle. You want to battle right now? I'll battle you right now. Like battles can go down just like that. So it's like, all right, no crowd, no nothing. A crowd will form because this is what is going to happen. People are going to want to see what's going down. So now it's still going on. It's on until either you leave or you say, all right, I want. You know, I mean, like, all right, you give me a pound. You could leave, and people just because you left think that you lost, but you still could have won. Right? I could have spit one rap. You could spit two. But my one rap could have been better than good too, and I could have been like, all right, cool, and I could just concede that I'm not gonna rap no more. And the people will say, oh, you beat that nigga, he left, he ain't wanna rap no more, you got him. But then people would be like, yo, man, but his boss is crazy, man. What if you really did battle and y'all set something up? You feel me? So now we coming to the set something up stage now, you know? Something like Kimbo Slice, when you watch old Kimbo on the street, you know, as compared to when you go to the UFC. You know, it's rounds now, it's time. You know, Kimbo basically was fighting till somebody get knocked out, you know? So, when you see what Cass did, I mean, you see why the first round was what it was, for blood, boom, right at you, boom. You ain't want no smoke. You know, that's the why I have that energy in regards to it. Because Goodz is also from that era, you know, but he's been caged. He's like a caged lion going against a lion who was a wild lion as a cub that was caged for some time, but is not in the cage anymore. And that's Cassidy. Right? So when you look at the industry thing for real, he hasn't really been signed like that for that long. Like, he really took, y'all seen the interviews, man. So, which is another reason why I give Cassidy the battle, because when you look at the interviews, when you look at what has been said and you know what's what, there's no need for non-disclosures for certain information. There should just be that honor between the rappers that, okay, boom, we understand what is what, and if this and that happens, it's cool. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not Good's fault if he can say lines that for the most part, the public can say it's not true or not valid, because like say for instance about the transgender stuff, Cassidy is on record as saying, listen, man, that shit ain't even show up on a shade room or no, like, you know, media takeout or none of this stuff where people, you know, can put out information that's not necessarily true. But if it's allegedly really like true about celebrities, it'll be on these media platforms out there circulating. People will be talking about it and this, that, and the third. That stuff with Cassidy hasn't had that effect in the real world. So it's like, what are you talking about? But we have a battle rap community who seem to lock into battle rap when they're in battle rap and forget that there is a real world outside of battle rap. So for somebody to now come into battle rap and try to fit into that world when they're pretty much, especially when they're a part of the reason why it is what it is, right? And we don't even have to take and factor that in, right? If you come from being more popular than the battle rap platform than you're on, and you're talking real talk, and you're not getting the love for that from the crowd, while the other person is saying stuff that is known to the majority of the people as not being real talk, and they're getting love, like, wouldn't that affect how you perform as well? Not to say that it affected his performance, but I think it affects the outcome in regards to the viewers, because we're all influenced. So if you're a casual fan would say, oh, Goodz won, because you're not watching the whole battle, you're listening, and then you're probably doing stuff, because I do this at times too, right? I'll be busy doing something like, say I'm watering the plants, right? Watering flowers, and I'm listening to the battles, and I might hear, oh, crowd reaction. So then I'm like, oh, that bar probably was fire. And who was rapping when that happened? Oh, it was Jeffrey. Right? I'm going to use Jeffrey because that's the name on this right here, right? Jeffrey, he was the one that was rapping, right? So Jeffrey had a hot bar that long. So I could be doing some other stuff, you know, mopping the floor, you know? And then here goes Jeffrey's opponent, right? You know? Righty left. Righty left is rapping now, and the whole time he was rapping, I didn't hear nothing except for, you know, the host say, round 2 is on you. Round 2, Jeffrey is back on you. I'm saying, oh, righty left, he ain't have no bars that round. He got smoked. Meanwhile, he could have been barring his life away, and I could have heard some of the bars subliminally, but I still think in my mind that Jeffrey won that round because I was casually listening, and then do that for the whole battle, and then come on here, YouTube, or talk to you and be like, yo, man, I heard the battle, man. This nigga trash. What's his name? That nigga Righty? That nigga trash, boy. Nigga wasn't saying nothing the whole time. And then you go tell somebody else, yeah, I heard that nigga Righty got smoked. Yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. Could be a reaction. What's going on? You see, now, then the person 5th, 6th, 7th way down the way, they go and they watch the battle and they have a totally different reaction. They look at you like, where you get that from? From who they thought was a credible source, because they thought that somebody else was a credible source, and the person who started it didn't really even tap in for real. And then they go back and watch the battle, and by the time that whole starts, now we have this whole thing where people are saying, like, you know, basically people are not thinking for themselves, is my point. Are we thinking for ourselves? You know, we got to think for ourselves, man. That's my point, man. Like, really, like, watch, and then have an explanation. Like, I respect what Daylyt did when he explained it, how he explained it, and his reasoning for giving Cassidy calling it a draw, but calling it Goodz 2-1 on the one aspect, because he called it Goodz 2-1 on the performance and so forth and so on. But on Cassidy's aspect, where he said, you can't rap better than me, this, that, and the third, Cassidy came and he did that. So he gave it Cassidy on that note, Goodz on another note. So overall, he gave it a draw. Fire, fire, fire. So with that being said, I'm gonna have to call my K-Shine versus Daylyt a draw, because 2 rounds I had one or the other off the watch, and on paper I had 2 rounds to one or the other. So I'm calling Daylyt versus K-Shine a draw, right? Based on what I learned from listening to the eloquent blog from Daylyt on Instagram. All right, boom, holla at me though. You can hit me up on Instagram at text from BK, TEXFRON, right? TEXFRON BK, text from BK on the gram. Link me.